And welcome back. So this is a combination of yesterday's previews and today's previews as well. So let's just get into this because there's going to be a lot. Teaching of the Arcanes, I think. I can't remember how I don't know what it's actually pronounced. 1 blue, 2 of any color for a lesson sorcery rare. If an opponent has more cards in hand than you, draw 2 cards. Draw 3 cards instead if an opponent has at least 4 more cards than you. Okay, that's interesting. The wording kind of got me confused. So basically, if they have more cards in their hand than you, you draw 2 cards. But if they have 4 or more cards than you in their hand, you draw 4 cards instead. Okay, excuse me, 3 cards. Sorry. For 3 mana, you're getting 2 cards for free without any real effort. So as long as you're down on your hand, yeah, perfectly serviceable. So yeah. Kelpie Guide. Kelpies are a thing. Kelpie needs to be a creature type. Kelpie Guide is 1 blue, 2 of any color for a 2/2 beast. Uncommon. Tap it to untap another target permanent you control. Or tap it to tap a target permanent, but you can only activate it if you have 8 or more lands. That does seem to be a thing with the Quandrix school, is that 8 or more lands seems to be a through point through a lot of these cards. We'll see a couple more cards that do that also. It's reasonable. It's not, honestly, you're probably going to get more advantages out of the untap thing than you are, because there's a lot of cards that have tap abilities, cards that you can work with. Hell, let's just look at a red card real quick. Blood Age General is 1 red, 1 of any color for a 2/2 Spirit Warrior. Tap it, attacking spirits get +1/+0 until the end of turn. You could untap it, tap again, they get +2 till the end of turn. So there you go. Or you could untap this land right here. Or you got anything else here with a tap effect that I'm looking at? Untap this land right here. Or scry twice with this card. So you're probably going to actually get more advantages, surprisingly, out of the untap ability. And a 2/2 for 3 is fine rate. 1 blue, 1 green, 1 of any color for Golden Ratio. I like that name. Uncommon sorcery. Draw a card for each different power among creatures you control. That's interesting. Obviously, oddly enough, it's actually counterintuitive with Quandrix itself, the dragon, unless you've got +1 counters all over the place. But I could honestly, for 2 mana, I can reasonably see anywhere from 2 to 3 cards you draw, and that's good rate. I'm loving a lot of the green-blue cards in this set. Like that, those are the cards that are making me really happy to see, because I'm a green-blue. That's my favorite color combination. With green-red is the close second. Hall of Oracles is a land rare, tap for colorless mana, pay any mana color, tap it, add 1 mana of any color, or tap it to put a +1 counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery or instant. Activate only as a sorcery and only if you've cast an instant or sorcery this turn. I mean, fine, I guess. Honestly, it's when I first saw it, I didn't love it, but looking back on it now, you're basically getting a free pump with whatever your instant or sorcery, like, say, Fervent Mastery does. So it's actually not that bad. Actually, I'd say it's pretty decent. I'd say it's decent. Not amazing, but decent. Otherwise, you're just getting colorless mana, because who's really going to be paying the 1 and then just... Basically, you're just changing the color of a mana. I don't like those abilities, quite frankly. I'd rather just get the mana, but whatever. Fervent Mastery is 1 green, 5 of any color, 6 mana. Rare. This is the green in the cycle of pay this rather than this, but your opponent gets something in return. You can pay 1 green, 3 of any color for this mana cost instead. But either way, you search your library for up to 4 basic land cards and reveal them. Put 1 of them onto the battlefield tapped under an opponent's control. But if you pay the alternate cost, you put 2 of them onto the battlefield tapped under your opponent's control and the rest in your hand. Why would I want to use this card, quite frankly? I don't want to give my opponent land. Look, even at the its full potential, you're getting 3 out of those 4 lands. Why would I want to give my opponent a land? Those lands aren't even going onto the battlefield. That's the big thing. That's the big thing. Search your library for the 4 basic land cards and reveal them. Put 1 of them onto the battlefield, tapped under an opponent's control. And then here's the problem. Because they put the rest in your hand at the end, it makes it sound like you just reveal them and then do nothing with them, but I'm assuming you put them into your hand. Yeah, they're getting a land at us regardless, and I have to wait to put my lands out. I don't like this card. Blood Age General just talked about. Dragon's Approach is 1 red, 2 of any color. For a sorcery, uncommon. It deals 3 damage to each opponent. You may exile Dragon's Approach and 4 cards named Dragon's Approach from your graveyard. And if you do, search your library for a dragon creature card, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. And a deck can have any number of this card. Actually, for a dragon deck, which I have several, I like this card. At common, it's not even. That's the thing. It's not even uncommon. At common, you could. It's not like the Seven Dwarves card that was uncommon, so it was actually harder to get. Surprisingly, it's not easy to get multiple copies of those. Yeah, at common, this is actually pretty reasonable. I mean, you're doing 3 damage to your opponent's face, and then you may exile this card. And 4 other cards from your graveyard name this card. So basically, you gotta be running at minimum 5, but the thing is, you can just be hitting for damage. It does, that's the thing I like about this. It does something, and then ultimately can do something else long term. So I actually do like this card, surprisingly. I think if you have a dragon deck, like if you have a deck with multiple, maybe not like a pure dragon deck, but a deck with multiple dragons in it, I think this is actually viable on some level. Now it's not like a lightning bolt. It's not going to hit a creature or an opponent, but it's still, I think, pretty viable. Conspiracy Theorist is 1 red, 1 of any color for a 2/2. Human Shaman rare. When it attacks, you may pay 1 of any color and discard a card, draw a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more non-land cards, you may exile 1 of them from your graveyard, and if you do, you may cast it this turn. So, what's the point? Yeah, that's the thing. What's the actual point? Because if you have something in your hand that you want to play, you'd already play it that turn. I'm assuming, unless you want to do it. But that's the thing too. If you want to just, I mean, yes, you're going to get a new card out of it, but you have to drop 1 mana to do it. So if you have something you really want to play, but you got to get rid of it, and I'm guessing if you need to ditch something, but then you get something out of it and then still play the card, I suppose, and then you're still up 1 card cycle. I guess I don't know. I don't see really the point of this card. I mean, I'm sure smarter people than me know how to use this card effectively. I'm clearly not one of those people. Like, I'm not really seeing the benefit of the card, quite frankly. And plus, it's 2/2. It's going to die very easy. And it has to attack. That's the other thing to do. It's a 2/2 that has to attack. Now, let's be clear. It's a bear with an upside. So either way, it's good. But the minute people get better, stronger things, let's just use this guy right here. Ardent Dust Speaker, who's a 3/4, you're no longer attacking with this guy. Unless you just want to get the effect off. So, yeah, I'm not seeing really the benefit here. At least not in my own mindset. Start from scratch is 1 red, 2 of any color. For a lesson, uncommon, choose 1, deal 1 damage to any target, or destroy an artifact. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, the 1 damage, quite frankly, is pretty low for 3 mana. I mean, it does to any target, but I mean, I think what you're really going to be focusing more on is the artifact part of it. Because we haven't seen a huge amount of artifacts in this set, to be frank, but there's... And then I'm also thinking about, I'm thinking about actual standards, too. Cosmo Elixir, I know, is a big one, so that would destroy Cosmo Elixir. And I've been playing a lot of Magic Arena, so I can attest to things a lot of people have been playing. Vehicles, I've been seeing some vehicles. I finished Beat a Guy last night playing vehicles. Yeah, I can definitely think of some think words. Equipments, like the sword, Havar's sword, like that definitely could be a thing. We're right 9 minutes. I'm not even to the top of the page yet, and I still got another page to go. Let's speed this up. Academic Dispute, 1 red mana, instant, uncommon. Target creature blocks if this turn. If able, you may have it gain reach until end of turn. I'm guessing it's to... maybe it can force your opponent, if you want to get rid of one of the creatures, maybe it forces them to block. I could see that, yeah. So I guess there's that. Draconic Intervention. So I'm guessing Prismari comes into in the story at one point to just, help out the weakest physically so far of the Elder Dragons. Though I've seen people say it's like, this isn't viable. It's like, how? Anyway. Two red, 2 of any color, sorcery, rare. Additional cost, exile a instant or sorcery from your graveyard. This deals X damage to each non-dragon creature where X is the card's mana value. If a creature is dealt damage this way, it would be exiled instead. If you have a big spell in the grave, or even a decent spell in the grave, actually this would not be bad removal at all. But you need to have a solid spell in the grave. Let's just use, I don't know. Hell, let's just even look at this Fervent Mastery, for example. In fact, this could actually work very well. You pay the 3, but it's a 6, so you're burning the entire field for 6 and exiling a lot of shit. That could actually work out well. This actually's got potential. I like this. Ardent Dust Speaker is 1 red, 4 of any color, 3/4 Minotaur Shaman, uncommon. When it attacks, you may put an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. And if you do exile top 2 cards of your library, you may play those cards this turn. Actually, I don't mind this because it doesn't deal with paying mana. So right off the bat, you can attack. If you even get 1 usage of this off, you'll theoretically get 2 free cards to play that turn if you haven't played anything. So there's definitely potential there. I like it. We got Karok, Wrangler. 1 red, 1 green, 4 of any color for a 3/3. Elf druid who's riding a zombie crocodile. They say that in their description, so yeah. Uncommon Magecraft. When you cast Moon You Magecraft, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. This can go to anything, so it's fine. We have the hybrid. We have the Quadrix token maker. Basically, it's an X spell, so it makes an XX fractal creature token. There you go. And it makes a 0/0 X +1 counter. So there you go. Ogyar Battleseer. 1 Izzet colors. 1 red, 1 blue, 3 of any color, 3/4 Ogre Shaman, haste with Scry. So honestly, you can bring that and Scry immediately if that's what you prefer. You just keep it there to block, or you could attack. Either way, it doesn't have summoning sickness, so you could actually block and Scry the following turn. Not bad, especially for a common. Not bad. Ecological Appreciation. Oh god. 1 green, 2 of any color, X. Mythic. Search your library and graveyard for up to 4 creature cards with different names that each have mana value of X or less and reveal them. The opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Shuffle the chosen cards into your library and put the rest on the battlefield and exile this spell. I love this card. I love this card. I'm happy to be a part of this card. I want everything to do with it. You're a monster and I want everything to do with you. No, I mean, seriously, let's look at it at the smallest ratio. 1's not going to work, but you're not going to play it for 1. The minimum you could play is 4 is 4 mana altogether, but you're going to wait this out. You're going to wait till you can at least get it to 3 or 4 minimum, and then you're going to play into it even more. You're probably going to there's mana ramp certainly. We've seen at least some mana ramp. The Quandrix particularly have surprisingly more mana ramp so far than we've seen the Witherbloom, but we haven't seen most of the Witherbloom yet because they are the only ones that really haven't had a big focal card day to them, so that might be tomorrow. But no, I like this card. And you're not going to be losing anything. You're just going to shuffle the cards you find back in, and then you're just going to get 2 on the field. So yeah, I like it a lot. Tenured Incaster, 1 black, 4 of any color, 2/2 Vampire Warlock, uncommon, enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature. It could be him. When a creature you control with a +1 counter on it attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. If you got the counters going on, great. It's a bit pricey, but it's got some application, certainly. Cogwork, Archivist, 6 of any color, 4 or 5. Construct, Reach, pay 2, tap target, put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Ultimately, it can basically keep you from decking out, in theory, but it's not the strongest in the world. There's better cards. Srixhaven Stadium is 2 of 3 of any color, artifact, rare. Tap this card, add 1 colors, and put a point counter on Srixhaven Stadium. When a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from Srixhaven Stadium. When a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put a point counter on Srixhaven Stadium. Then, if 10 or more point counters are on it, remove them all, and that player loses the game. So the way it was worded initially got me a little confused, but it's basically if you deal damage to that player and you combat damage to a player or opponent, you put the counter on Srixhaven Stadium, and then they lose the game if there's 10 or more. It's basically an alt-win condition kind of thing. As alt-win conditions go, because Proliferate exists like within Historic and stuff like that, there is applications here. There is applications. Is it easy to do this? No. Hell no, because whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, you lose the counter. So you have to, it's one of those things you gotta do, you gotta be quick and decisive. You get at least a mana out of it. It's colorless, but you get a mana out of it, so there's some application there. There's better cards though. Teach by example. 2 hybrid blue. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell a turn, copy that spell. You may choose a new copy for it. Basically, one of the things that can set off Magecraft. Eternal Masterpiece. Dolphins! Create, it's 1 red, 1 blue, 5 of any color, 7 mana. You can either pay the 2 hybrid to discard it, and create a treasure, or pay it for full and create 2 blue, 4/4 blue red elemental creature tokens with no other abilities. Ultimately, I'd like to get the 2 elementals, but whatever. It is what it is. Again, there's ways. There's mono ramp existing. I just realized. Is it? These words here. Prismari as well, because they have the artifacts or the treasure tokens. So there's that. Zamoni, Quandrix Prodigy, 1 green, 1 blue, 1/2. A human wizard, legendary, uncommon. You may pay 1, tap, and put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Or you can pay 4 and draw a card. If you control 8 or more land, draw 2 cards. Yeah, she's adorable. She's nerdy. You can put an extra land from your hand on the battlefield, set off your land balls. You can theoretically draw 2 cards if you got her late game. So, I don't know. Not the greatest, but not the worst. Manifestation Sage, 4 hybrid green-blue, for 2/2 human wizard. When it enters the battlefield, create a fractal creature token, 0/0/1/1, where X is the number of cards in your hand. This could be good depending on what your hand state is like. Because, if you don't have a pretty good hand, then this card, the fractal creature, really isn't going to matter that much, is it? But it could be good. It depending on where your hand stands, you could definitely have some fun with that. Quadrix Pledge Mage is 2 hybrid, 1 of any color, 2/2. When you Magecraft, put a +1 counter on this card. So basically, you're just going to keep building it up bigger and bigger. Problem is, with a lot of these cards, they just don't have any abilities. Now, there is an artifact coming up, an equipment that does give abilities. Particularly, I believe it's Vigilance and Trample, and it's easier to equip onto, say, a token than it is a non-token. So I believe there is that little benefit, but still. We've talked about multiple choice already, so don't need to talk about it again. Archway Commons is basically just it's a reprint of just cards already. Needleborn or Needlethorn Drake, 1 blue, 1 green, flying Death Touch, 1/1. Actually, a very good 2-drop. Let's see, Reflecting Golem, if I remember this correctly, it is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you pay the 2, and if you do, make a new copy for it. It's basically just a Magecraft enabler copier. 2/3 for 3 is fine. Aether Helix is 1 green, 1 blue, 3 of any color, sorcery, uncommon. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So basically, you bounce something, and return something back to your hand. It's a bit expensive, though, so there are better cards you could be using, but not the worst card in the world. Leon Lightscribe is 1 white, 1 of any color for a 2/2 cat cleric. Whenever you Magecraft, creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn. That's depending on how many cards you can really cast during the turn, really. Because otherwise it's just a 2/2. It's a 2/2 with benefits, but it's a 2/2 that actually doesn't do anything. 2/2 for 2 that doesn't do anything until you cast something. So depending on what you're casting, it could be a lot better. Fervent Mastery, 2 red, 3 of any color. Alternate cost, 2 red, 2 of any color. Did I say 2? I said 3 and 2 red. If 2 red were paid, and basically if the alternate cost is paid, an opponent discards any number of cards and draws that many, you may search your library for up to 3 cards, put them into your hand, and shuffle, and then discard 3 cards at random. I don't like this card. I actually don't like this card at all. Because chances are this is a little bit more late game. Not super late game, a little bit more late game. Red is a very aggressive color. It's not easy to keep cards in your hand with red. So really, you're probably not this is probably not worth it. Eureka Moment is 1 blue, 1 green, 2 of any color. Instant common. Draw 2 cards. You may put a land card from among your hand on the battlefield. That's a good card. You're getting your card advantage, and you got land advantage at that point. Like, that's a good card. I can't say anything more about it. That's a good card. Accomplished Alchemist is 1 green, 3 of any color, 2/5 Elf Druid rare. Tapped, add mana of any color, or tap, add X mana of 1 color, where X is the amount of life you gained. We haven't seen a lot of life gain yet, but that's clearly going to be focused more in the Witherbloom school. Otherwise, we'll have to wait and see how much life gain there actually is. Emergence Sequence is 1 green, 1 of any color, sorcery, uncommon. Search your library for a basic land card. Put in the battlefield, tapped. Shuffle the library, and then or shuffle. Land becomes a 0/0 blue fractal creature that's still land. Put a +1 counter on it for each land you had entered the battlefield under your control this turn. I mean, like, in combination with, like, Eureka Moment, this, I mean, you're not going to realistically get anything into more than maybe, like, a 3 mana card, maybe 3 or 4 powered creature, and then it's still a land, so if that thing dies, which removal still very much exists, it has no mana, so, you know, cards that target mana cost, that thing's going to die pretty quick, so I wouldn't use it myself. Augmenter, oh god, Pugilist? It is a troll! But it's a Quandrix troll. 2 green, 1 of any color for a 3/3 trample troll druid. Right off the bat, that's usable. As long as you control 8 or more lands, this card gets +5/+5, making it essentially an 8/8 trampler for 3. Echoing Equation is 2 blue, 3 of any color for sorcery rare. Choose a target creature you control. Each other creature becomes a copy of that creature until the end turn. This creature aren't legendary if the chosen creature is legendary. In essence, what you're trying to do is turn everything into a copy of this. Because again, when you're talking about module cards, they're supposed to work together. So yeah, you're basically trying to turn something into a copy of this, which is kind of nuts. Because if you have at least 3 or 4 other creatures on the field, which with fractals is very possible you could, you're immediately turning those into something that you do not want to be messing with, because not only would they get the 3/3 trample boosted on the +1 counters, if you got the 8 land, they're turning them essentially into 8/8s with tramples plus the +1 counters. So that's kind of disgusting. But not as disgusting as if you combine it with a body of research. 3 blue, 3 green, mythic sorcery, create a fractal creature, put +1 counters on it, where it's the number of cards in your library. So let's fantasy Christmas land a little bit here. Let's magical Christmas land a little bit here. At minimum, a standard deck needs to be 60 cards. You draw 7 cards. If you're going first, you don't draw a card. If you go second, you draw a card. Realistically, if you play a land every turn and then if this is in your opening hand, realistically, you're down 7 cards. You draw 6, so you're down 13 cards. You still get a 47-47 domino. No. You still get a 47-47 off the field on turn 6. Now, it still dies to pretty much everything that deals with, like, converted mana cost. Absolutely. As long as it's not, like, above 3 or something like that. But then when you say use the other side of this, which turns into a copy of Augmenter Pugilist, or Team Pennant, which is a 1 of any color artifact equipment uncommon. Equip creature is +1/+1, has vigilance and trample, and equip it to a token creature, it's only equipped for 1. Then you immediately just like, okay, as long as you can't kill it, dead. Like, it is kind of nuts in many ways what this will do. And then in Commander, oh god, oh dear lord, in Commander, this is a nightmarish in Commander. Because again, let's go with that theory that you're got to be down about 13 cards to play it at your minimum. Out of a 100 card deck, that's an 87-87 on turn 6. Now, it doesn't have any protection, so it still would die pretty easy. And let's be clear, an 87-87 needs to die the turn it comes out, or it needs to die immediately the turn after, because otherwise, if they give it trample, you are effed. Anyway, so yeah, I do like it. It's not a very realistic play, but I'll still play with it, damn it. Letter of Acceptance, 3 of any color. Tap, animal of any color, sacrifice, tap, play 2, tap it, sack it, draw a card. Standard kind of mana card, give you an extra card kind of card. Square up, 1 hybrid green and blue, 1 of any color. Instant, target creature has a base power of 4/4 until the end of turn, which happens to be Quandrix's base power and toughness. Coincidence? And that's fine if you got smaller creatures or fractals. We gotta keep on the fractals, because the fractals are naturally 0/0s, but they also just naturally have +1 counters on them. So you add this with fractals, that actually becomes a serious threat of a card. Expel, 1 blue, 1 white, 2 of any color for a instant exile tap creature. This exists. Hell, there's one that just came out in Kaldheim that's this, except it destroys, doesn't exile. So this is actually better than that. Serpentine Curve is, I like this card. I do like it. It's just making a big old snake. And I love snakes. 1 blue, 3 of any color, sorcery, common. Create a 0/0, create a fractal. Put X +1 counters on it, where X is 1 plus the total number of instants and sorceries you own in exile and in your graveyard. That is actually that's scary because of how many instant sorceries are in this set. That's scary as F. So yeah, do not mess with that. If you got that card and you're already playing, let's put it this way, if you're already like say 3 spells in your hole, that's already a 3/3. That's impressive. You wait on this card for a while. Then you're looking at a scenario where this could be a very mean, dangerous card. So yeah, Biomathematician is 1 green, 1 blue, 1 of any color for a 2/2 human wizard common. Enters the battlefield, you create a 0/0 green-blue fractal creature token. Put a +1 counter on each fractal you control. Basically, fractal support. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a 2/2 for 3, which isn't bad. You're creating a fractal, which is good. And yeah, it's going to be your minimum. You're creating another body with it. You're creating a 1/1. You're basically making a 3/3 for 3. But if there's other fractals on the field, which if you're in this kind of limited environment deck, there should be. And I'll probably make a fractal deck because this actually seems like a lot of fun to make this deck. In real life and in arena. Yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, it's the fractal support. I like it. Then you got Quandrix Cultivator, who is your weird hybrid Kai. Basically, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 hybrid. 1 of any color for a 3/4. Turtle Druid, uncommon. Enters the battlefield. You may search your library for a basic land or forest, basic forest or island, and put it on the battlefield and shuffle. So yeah, it's getting you a free land. You'll play it. I'd play it. Yeah, 100%. Cackle with power. It's also a story spotlight. I'm actually getting a Scarlet Witch. After watching WandaVision, I'm getting a Scarlet Witch vibe off of Rowan right now. Will gasp as Rowan drew raw power from Srixhaven Snarl. For a moment, she was, Humanist? Transcendent? Terrible. Basically, pay 2 red and triple X. Cackle power deals 5 times X damage up to each of X targets. Yeah, see, this is one that you're going to want to hold out as long as you can for. Because if you just pay it for the 5, which would be the minimum, you're only going to be doing 5 damage to 1 creature. But it's 5 times X. Minimum, you want to try to get up to 8 mana. And again, with the Prismari being able to use artifacts, treasures, it's not as hard as you think to ramp, especially if you use Prismari himself and use some artifacts in conjunction with that. So if you can just get to the 8, that means you will be doing 5 times 2, you'll be doing 10 damage to 2 targets. And nothing says the 2 targets can't be the same target. So you could theoretically kill someone on 8 mana with this. Now, that being said, it's still a heavy approach. You got to wait on this thing. You can't just play it right from the gate, sadly. And if you need to, you'll still have it for like burning 5 to someone's face or, taking out a big thing. So it's not something to sleep on. It's, again, not something, I keep saying that a lot, but don't sleep on the card. I do like the Scarlet Witch vibes I get from it, definitely. Decisive Denial, 1 blue, 1 green. Choose instant uncommon. Choose 1. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control, or counter target non-creature spell unless the controller pays 3. I'd probably go with that one. It's removal, so either way it's good, but I'd probably go with the latter half, use it more as a counter spell. Secret Rendezvous. Strixhaven 5 college. Earn amongst But some bonds transcend all barriers. Oh, isn't that nice? Friendship or romance, either or. 2 white, 1 of any color, sorcery, uncommon. You and a target opponent each draw 3 cards. If you need it, if it's like the last card in your hand, if you top deck it, sure. Again, I don't want to really be giving my opponent cards. Devastating Mastery. Jeez. 4 white, 2 of any color. Or you can pay the 2 white and 2 of any color. Destroy all non-land permanents, but if you did the alternate, your opponent chooses up to 2 non-land permanents they control and return them to their owner's hand. So you can either use it as a bounce spell, which white does not get very often, if at all, or you can just wipe out the field. Take your pick. Owlin Shield Mage is 1 black, 1 white, 3 of any color, 3/3 Bird Warlock, a common flying ward, pay 3 life. Whenever this creature becomes the target of spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player plays 3 life. So the opponent has to pay 3. Why is this common? The fact of the matter is they have to pay 3 life to play any of their spells that would target this. I would think it's at least uncommon. It's definitely not mythic, but uncommon. Yeah, why is this common? Because you have a 3/3 flyer. Great, it's a bit expensive, but you still have a 3/3 flyer. I do not know. I do not know. Silver Quill Spencer, if I'm not mistaken, this one is Silencer, sorry. Enters the battlefield, choose a non-land card name. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, choose a name, they lose life and you draw a card. That's a 3/2. So you still got to know what's in your opponent's hand or know what they have. That's the catch. That's why I don't like those types of cards, because you have to design a deck where you're going to know what they have. Then you have Malevolent Band, 1 black, 1 white, 2 of any color. 4/0/0, enters the battlefield, 2 +1 counters, and has Death Touch. When it dies, you put a counter on it on target creature you control. Put its counters on target creature you control. Sorry. Actually, not bad, as long as you have another creature on the field when it dies. We have a Illusion Bird. Strix is the go-to title right now, but it's Illusion Bird because it obviously has illusion right there. Because the target spell, sacrifice it. When it dies, learn, and it's flying. But it's a 3/2 bird. It's okay. I don't like illusions that much. This one was Talent Test. Uncommon. Let's see here. Counter target uncommon blue, 1 of any color. Instant counter target instant or sorcery spell. It's searches controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any card, a number of cards with the same name as a spell, and exile them. The spell's controller shuffles, then they draw a card for each exile card that way. If they only have 1 copy of a card, good. If they have multiple copies, then we have a problem. Because again, you're just giving them cards. Yes, you're getting rid of all their copies, but you're giving them cards. Unstable Transformation. You either turn up. This one, I believe, is a lesson uncommon. You either turn a creature turn a creature into a frog or an octopus with no abilities. 1/1 frog or an octopus. It's interesting. Not amazing, but interesting. Inkling Summoning. It's the Srixhaven, the Silver Quill creature token summoning, creating an Inkling flying token 2/1. But it's only for 3, so it's actually one of the more viable ones, certainly. Access Tunnel, tap for uncommon, pay 3, target creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked. It's alright. Not great, but alright. Closing Statement, 1 black, 1 white, 3 of any color, instant uncommon. This spell costs 2 less to cast during your end step. Destroy target creature or planeswalker you don't control and put a +1 counter on up to 1 target creature you do control. Yeah, okay. This is fair. This is good. Yeah, I can wait until the end of my turn to play that. Yeah, in terms of removal, I want to say Silver Quill got the best of the removal, certainly. And I'd argue maybe... I wouldn't even argue it. I'd say Silver Quill got the best of removal. Yeah, they did. Because we're going to see a card in a minute that's just like insanely good. Dramatic Finale. 4 hybrid black-white enchantment. Rare. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1. And whenever 1 or more non-creature tokens you control dies, create a 2/1 white and black creature token flying. The ability only triggers once each turn. That's the only downside of this. It's once each turn. Otherwise, it's pretty good. Yeah, that is one thing I don't like about it, is the once each turn thing. Because I mean, if it then again, I think they know it'd be kind of broken otherwise. So, Necrotic Fumes. Okay, here we go. We're getting a bit more into the Witherbloom side of things. 2 black, 1 of any color, lessen a sorcery, uncommon, extra cost, exile a creature you control, exile target creature or planeswalker. Well, it doesn't say non-token, so I'll just play an Inkling and I'll get rid of your Ugin, sir. Oh man, they're really putting on the planeswalker hate. I think they saw Ugin being a problem in standard. Yeah, Ugin's been a bit of a problem lately. And I can't think of any other walker right now that's been a huge issue. Kaya is strong, but it's not overpowered. I'm trying to think of back to all the walkers I've come. Like nothing from Ikoria is that big of an issue. Yeah, really, nothing's that bad. Quite, at least not in my opinion. Nothing's that bad. So except for Ugin. Ugin's the only one that's really stood out to be that bad. And Teferi, though Teferi doesn't like show up anymore really. Basic conjuration. 2 green, 1 of any color, lessen, rare. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them, put into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order, and you gain 3 life. So you're gaining 3 life, and you're getting a creature, and you're just, putting stuff on the bottom. I like it. Leyline Invocation, 1 green, 5 main color. You make a fractal where X is the number of lands you control. This one's just straight out your mana at that point. That one's just straight your land. So if you're playing fractals, there you go. This one I believe is just Fracture. And I believe it's a story. It might be a story Spotlight, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. This is destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. Yeah. Now here's the thing. No, it's a promo. Okay, that's promo pack. Sorry. It's not story Spotlight. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. And that's a really good removal, but still not the best card of the day. Still not the best. I don't think. No, maybe that was the best. So many cards today. Umbral Juke, or Juke? Yeah, Juke. 1 black, 2 of any color for an instant. Uncommon. Choose 1. Target player sacrifice a creature or planeswalker, or you create a 2/1 black Inkling creature with flying. Black and white. Yeah, another good freaking removal card. Like a target player, it's just forcing your opponent to sacrifice stuff. Like seriously. Or you can just create a body if you're short on creatures. Great. But this, I'll save the double major for a little later. Or maybe I'll save it for right now because still got so many. Double major. This is the one where people saw it and they realized what it meant. I'm like, oh crap. Double major. 1 green, 1 blue, rare, instant. Copy target creature you control. A creature spell you control. So when you're casting it. Except it isn't legendary if the spell is legendary. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I saw what people were kind of talking about. Like, we can do this now? And I realized, oh dear Lord. So you can copy your Coma. You can copy your Vorinclex. You can copy any of the gods. You can copy, you can copy any god from Theros. You can copy any mutate legendary. You can you can copy, if you want to go a little further back, I'm just trying to think of other creatures that have been, really, really standing out lately in terms of like legendary. Okay, I'm blanking on any other legendaries right now that are standing out. But point being is like, yeah, that is wrong on so many levels. And that's just the legendaries I'm thinking of. I'm sure there's plenty of others that are just messed up, Yeah, it's just, that's a messed up card. Like, that's kind of busted. Charge through, green, instant, common. Target creature, gains trampoline and turn, draw a card. It's a cute little combat track. They'll be fine. Show confidence. 1 white, 1 of any color. Instant, common. When you cast this spell, copy it for each other instant or sorcery you cast this turn. You may choose a new target for your copies, put a +1 counter on target creature. Gain vision until the end of the turn. If you have played multiple spells this turn, this card is actually very good. Even if you haven't, still not bad. You get a +1 permanent buff and you get vigilance. So yeah, actually it's not bad either way. Fuming Effigy is 1 red, 3 of any color for a 4/3 spirit common. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, this card deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's the lore hole thing, so yeah, I guess it's okay. It's definitely a decent body. 4/3 for 4 is fine. I do love the art too. I just saw Godzilla vs. Kong, getting Kong vibes off this. Essence Infusion. So it's fine. Essence Infusion, 1 black, 1 of any color common. Put 2/+1 counters on target creature and it gains lifelink until the end of turn. So it's a permanent 2 buff and you get lifelink for a turn. Yeah. yeah. That's the yeah. Not as good as what was the other one? The one from War of the Spark, which basically gave unblockable. That one was, yeah. That one was better, but still, yeah. Soothsayer Adept is 1 blue, 1 of any color for a 1/3 Merfolk Wizard. You may pay 1 blue and 1 of any color. Tap, draw a card, discard a card. Very standard effect, but usable. Tome Shredder is 1 white, 1 blue. What am I talking about? 1 red, 2 of any color. 2/2 Wolf, common, haste. Exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard and put a +1 counter on this card. It's fine. Here's the thing. If you play the turn 3 and your opponent doesn't have anything to really do anything with it, then yeah, sure. If you want to try to build it up, sure, but it doesn't have any abilities to go with that, so take that up for once. With that being said, it does work well with Fuming Effigy, so there's that. Pilgrim of the Ages is 1 white, 2 of any color for a 2/1 Spirit. Enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic Plains card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle, pay 6, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so basically dies, but you could pay to bring it back and repeat the process of getting more land. Interesting. Yeah, there's something there. I'm just not certain what that something is. Bookworm is 1 green, 7. You knew they had to make that joke. 1 green, 7 of any color, 7/7 worm, uncommon, trample. Enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life and draw a card. You can pay 2, 1 green. Put this card on from your graveyard to the top of your library. So in essence, you can repeat the process: gain 3 life, draw a card. Actually, it's actually pretty. I mean, it's big. It's an 8-drop, but for an 8-drop, that's got a lot of application. It's got trample, so it's relevant as a beater on the field. And you're going to be gaining life, so you get some life back, and you'll draw a card, and you can repeat the process again if you need to, especially if you're down. So I like that. Mentor's Guidance. 1 blue, 2 of any color, sorcery, uncommon. When you cast this spell, copy it. If you control a Planeswalker, Cleric, Druid, Shaman, Wizard, or Warlock. Scry 1, then draw a card. Kasmina has encouraged the twins to apply. Srixhaven's test is not only for magic potential, but also for character. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to be hard with this kind of set to, have a Cleric, Druid, Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard. No, it's really, there aren't any warriors in this set or anything like that, because it seems to be mostly, and Luca, I think in the last story, kind of mentioned how it's like, everyone on this planet, damn mage, and he just kind of beat the hell out of them physically, because he's more of a physical fighter. But yeah, Detention Vortex is 1 white for enchantment or uncommon. Non-land permanent, it can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. You may pay 3, destroy detention, destroy this card. Your opponent may activate this ability only as a sorcery. So it's it is what it is. It's not the greatest, but it is fine. Because your opponent can just get rid of it. Mascot Interception, 1 red, 2 of any color, 3 of any color for a sorcery uncommon. The spell costs 3 less if you control a creature token. Gain control of target creature until the end of turn, and it gets +2/+2 and +2/+0 in haste. So yeah, not bad. Novice Dissector is 1 black, 3 of any color, 3/3 Troll Warlock, common. Sacrifice another creature by paying 1 of any color and put a +1 counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. If you're sacrificing your pests, that's going to be pretty solid. That's all I can really say. Oh God Almighty, I didn't even read that one. Mascot Expedition is 7 of any color for a Mythic Rare Lesson. There's your Mythic Rare Lesson. Basically, create 3 tokens: 1 Inkling, a Elemental, and a 3/2, and a Spirit. That's basically, you're creating your mascots. It's a lot of power among them, but still. Exponential Growth, 2 green and double X until the end of turn. Double target creature's power X times. What in the actual F? Oh my God. Let's do a hypothetical here. Hypothetical. And you'd only do this hypothetical if you're an actual asshole. So let's use Research Body. Let's make that 47/47. Let's then, the following turn, through some mana hijinks, equip that Vigilance Trample. So that means it's now a 48/48 with Vigilance and Trample. And then using the excess 6 mana you still have, let's just say you double that power just twice. That means you go from 48/48 to a 96/96 to an 1 in 98/98 with Trample and Vigilance. What in the ever-loving God? Oh my God. That's so wrong. Now, realistically, that's Magical Christmas Land. But, look, let's just take this guy, for instance. Let's turn this 3/3, for instance. Let's use the 6 mana. You immediately go from 6/3 to a 12/12. That alone is messed up. Oh, and this was the card I was talking about. I was like, that wasn't even the best one for the Silver Core removal. Vanishing Verse is 1 black, 1 white, instant. Exile target exile target monocolor permanent. Yeah, there's a lot of monocolor permanents out there. Goodbye, Ugin, by the way. Yeah, bye. You're technically colorless, but that's still single. Actually, technically it wouldn't work because it's not color. But still, yeah, goodbye a lot of things. Yeah, that's pretty damn good removal. Symmetry Sage, 1 blue, flying, Magecraft, 0/1 or 0/2. When you Magecraft, target creature you control gets power, base power becomes 2. So in essence, you're turning it into a 2/2 with flying. No, it's usable. Promising Duskmage, the last card, 1 black, 2 of any color. Human Warlock, 2/3. It dies. You put a +1 counter on it. Draw a card. Yeah. Okay. If it had a +1 counter on, sorry. Okay. It's if it had a +1 counter. Sure. Either way, solid card. Geez, near a 15-minute video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. Do a review of it at some point. Ideas or would win. Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything to do with the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get that at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. I'm going to pre-record my Who Would Win for tomorrow. And I got the spoiler review for Kong vs. Godzilla to do a little later, but I got to charge my computer up. So have a good one.